Hello and welcome to Electric Guitar Review. My name is Ben Morgan-Brown and you've just been watching Jace Morris demonstrating the 67 Viking II from Hagstrom Guitars. First released in 1965 and famously used by Elvis Presley during his 68 comeback special show, this modern reincarnation of the Viking features a hollow double-bound cutaway body with a 5-ply Canadian maple construction. The bolt-on neck is also made from Canadian maple and it features a resin Ator fingerboard with a 624mm scale length and a Graphtec black tusk nut. Two Hagstrom H52 Alnico 5 mini humbuckers are controlled by separate volume and tone controls, with coil taps on the tone controls. The guitar features a long throw Tune-o-matic bridge with a wood block, a gold finish Hagstrom tailpiece, and has an RRP of £1,025. For this review, Jace is playing through a Fender Twin Reverb reissue and a Marshall JCM 800, so let's have another listen to some playing now, and then please join me afterwards for my thoughts. The Viking II has got a real vintage vibe. It certainly is a guitar that speaks so much of a certain era when electric guitars were still relatively new and brands such as Hagstrom could make a mark by tweaking elements of the US brands into their own designs. There's a couple of little details I like about this guitar. The gold pins that show the knob positions are cool, and the pickup cover's combination of silver foil, big pole pieces and gold surrounds are pretty nifty as well. The guitar does seem well made, but there are a few elements that let it down a bit. The gloss finish, although well applied, looks and feels a bit plasticky to me, and the position switch feels a little cheap also, but the standard of the woodwork and binding application etc. is good. Playing the guitar, the first thing that stands out to me is that the neck is very small. It's possibly one of the smallest full-size necks I've ever played. It seems to be narrow at the nut and the profile or taper doesn't change much as you move up the neck. It's definitely a very different feel that took me a while to get used to. As such, I found it a bit cramped, but on the other hand, bar chords were really easy and moving them up and down the neck for rhythm parts was a doddle. But I do think this is the sort of neck that you'll either love or hate, so it's worth getting your hands on the guitar to play first before buying. The Viking II is a pretty distinctive tone to my ears. It's that sort of hollow 60s rhythm sound with a snappy attack and not much sustain. It brings to mind to me a lot of the sounds from records by the Kinks, the Zombies, the Small Faces, etc. If you wind up the volume and push the gain a bit, there is a little more sustain on tap, and I actually found the Viking surprisingly feedback proof. But if you're looking for violin-esque singing notes, you're probably not going to find them here. The H52 pickups have got a nice percussive clarity to them. They feel responsive to playing dynamics and were balanced across the frequencies, albeit with a slight bias to treble in the bridge position. I didn't really think the coil tap option added much to the tone, but I can see how it would provide a little more versatility if you needed it. At £1,025, I do think the RRP of this guitar is a tad optimistic, and it does appear that some retailers agree with me, as the Viking II is available for less in some stores, which brings it more into line with other similar guitars from brands with histories going back to the same era. Value for money concerns aside, I think the Viking II is a quirky guitar by its very nature, and therefore is the sort of instrument that, if you fall for its charms, comparing it to other models or brands is in some way irrelevant. It's definitely got its own vibe going on. The main takeaways from this review are that the Viking II certainly has that classic 60s import guitar tone, feel and look down. The neck will be the make or break point for a lot of people, I feel, but the distinctive snappy attack and retro vibe will appeal to anyone looking to recapture the era of its first release. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Electric Guitar Review. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be kept up to date when we post new videos, and Jason and I look forward to seeing you next time.